Hello everyone. As we all know that the conflict between Israel and Hamas has proved to be a prolonged conflict in West Asia. We need to discuss some aspects of this war briefly. First of all, we need to understand that even after fighting for such a long time, why Israel is reluctant for a ceasefire agreement with Hamas. Clear? One or two reasons are very valid that is quite visible. One major reason is that obviously security concerns highlighted by Israel. Israel believes, leaders believe that once ceasefire comes into picture, the groups in Hamas will basically regroup, rearm themselves, and that can be a potential threat for Israel in coming time. So they want to wipe away Hamas altogether. Second major factor for Israel's reluctance is distrust. Clear? There is almost complete distrust between Hamas and Israel. And since this distrust has become a very visible factor, Israel does not want to take any chance for a ceasefire agreement with Hamas. Clear? Third is obviously the domestic pressure also. In fact, the political career of Benjamin Netanyahu largely hinges on his attempt or his approach towards Hamas. Clear? If Hamas gets wiped away, leading to prolonged security for Israel, it will make Benjamin Netanyahu almost politically mortal in Israel. Clear? So obviously the political career of Benjamin Netanyahu largely rests on his dealing with Hamas, which is again a very prominent factor. Third is a strategic objective of Israel. Israel wants to show to the global leaders and even the players of West Asia that they are very strong in West Asia and one group or two group like Hamas cannot disturb them. In fact, Israel wants to give a strong message even to groups like the Hezbollah group operating from Lebanon and even the countries like Iran. Clear that Israel is well embedded into West Asian region, which cannot be eliminated by such countries and groups. So strategic objectives also is a major factor for Israel's reluctance to sign ceasefire agreement with Hamas. Clear? At the same time, just because of this prolonged conflict, clear, it has led to human rights violations, being women and children being affected largely. And these human rights violations are from both the sides. Clear, not only Israel, but even Hamas is to be largely accused for human rights violations, which has been highlighted by Amnesty International and even by bodies of United Nations as well, that huge amount of violations has occurred from both the sides. Clear. Another very important issue that has come into picture, which is being discussed by experts, is why Western countries, including United States, has failed to exert pressure on Israel for a ceasefire agreement, even though all of them accept humanitarian crisis at this time. Why Western countries could not be exert proper measure on Israel for ceasefire agreement? Clear? Some factors are also important. The first major factor is strong historical and political support for Israel. Large number of Western countries has given huge support to Israel historically since the country came into existence in 1948. The most prominent example obviously is United States. There's a strong lobby of Jewish community in United States, and that is why United States cannot rather break its ties with Israel, because it has historically supported Israel, even United Kingdom also, since establishment in 1948. Second is security concerns. If United States and Western countries does not support Israel at this time, obviously the groups like Hamas and even countries like Iran and Syria may assert very strongly in West Asian politics, and that could disturb the political equations of West Asia, which has become a very important geopolitical region in global politics. Clear? Third, obviously, is domestic politics. In many Western countries, the Jewish lobby is a very powerful lobby that decides the domestic politics of many European countries, and therefore they cannot afford to take a chance in order to exert pressure on Israel for a ceasefire agreement. Clear. Third, a major factor is diplomatic challenge also. Clear. Israel is a strong country, and diplomatic challenges that no country wants to come forward to exert pressure on Israel, because Israel being a close associate of many countries, arms suppliers of many countries, Western countries, even arms purchaser also from major countries, diplomatic pressure cannot be exerted on Israel for a ceasefire agreement. Clear? So these are some major factors which has prohibited Western European countries to exert pressure for ceasefire agreement on Israel. Lastly, we need to understand what could be the potential future developments of this conflict? Clear? One potential future development that cannot be ruled out is continuous negotiation related to ceasefire agreement. Global bodies, global organizations like Egypt and Qatar also, they have come forward for basically the ceasefire agreement. So negotiations for ceasefire agreement would continue, which can never be ruled out in order to resolve the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Clear? Next is, it may lead to escalation of the conflict. It may lead to de-escalation of the conflict. Both the options cannot be ruled out. Clear? If Israel remains to be adamant in nature, it will lead to escalation of the conflict. If Israel rather leads to softening of its tone, it may lead to de-escalation, which is rather very tough to imagine as of now, because Israel has adopted a very tough stand against Hamas. Clear? More importantly, the future development could be more and more humanitarian crisis. Clear? Humanitarian crisis that will continue, leading to large-scale violation of human rights and abuses. Clear? In fact, recently only again, Israel has decided to bomb the city of Rafah, which is the last resort for Palestinians to take refuge. Clear? In fact, they have blocked the Rafah crossing also, which is bordering the country of Egypt. Clear? So, country of Egypt. All this is going to affect the large major people in the region of Palestine, and just because of this, pro-Palestinian protests started to take place in major universities and campuses of Western European countries, including United States as well. Clear? These are major reasons, and more importantly, it may lead to rather security concerns for the whole global community, because security concern, that means that global bodies like United Nations has also failed to prevent such crisis, and that will raise eyebrows among all the major countries of the world that such regional crisis may take the form of a global crisis in coming time, which could be a threat to global peace and security. These are some issues to be known related to Israel-Hamas conflict. Thank you.